Hello and welcome to your daily word. Hello everyone, I'm Pastor Kara, and today we will be continuing the topic of worship. Yesterday, I started the worship series talking about how we worship God for who He is and what He's done, and that He is worthy of praise. Our response to finding out about His majesty and holiness and all the wonder that surrounds Him, our response to that is our praise and worship. But what happens when we don't feel like worshiping? What if life isn't going so great and we can't see past what's going on to see how great God is? Life is always going to have its ups and downs and its hills and valleys that will make it difficult for us to want to worship. So what do? There's a story in the book of Acts about the Apostle Paul and Silas. They were traveling around preaching the gospel when they came across this servant girl who was demon-possessed and could tell fortunes. She was following them around and being difficult to Paul, so he cast the demon out of her. This angered her owners because she was telling fortunes and they were making money off of her. And so they had Paul and Silas arrested. Here's what happened next, and you can find this story in Acts 16, 22 to 26. It says, a mob quickly formed against Paul and Silas, and the city officials ordered them stripped and beaten with wooden rods. They were severely beaten, and then they were thrown into prison. The jailer was ordered to make sure they didn't escape. So the jailer put them in the inner dungeon and clamped their feet in stocks. Here are two men of God doing good works for the Lord, and look at where it got them. They were stripped and humiliated in front of everyone. Then they were beaten, and then they were put in jail. But not just any type of jail. They were put in a specific portion of the jail, the inner parts of it, which means they were in the deepest, darkest place of that prison. There was no light, and with it, most would see no hope. So there they were, hurt, their bodies broken, and clamped down in chains in the darkest of dark places. Now, I've had some pretty bad days, but I'm pretty sure that this would top them all. Any person would feel like breaking down and crying or feel sorry for themselves and not be in the mood to sing the newest worship song that's circulating around the churches. What would you have done if you were them? What would have been your response to that situation? Here's how they responded. If you continue the Bible story, it says, around midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening. Suddenly, there was a massive earthquake, and the prison was shaken to its foundation, and all the doors immediately flew open, and the chains of every prisoner fell off. So instead of pity and sadness, Paul and Silas worshiped. They chose, no matter what the circumstance, that they were going to worship and sing to God. And look at the results too. They didn't stay in their prison. They didn't stay in their chains, but God set them free. Chris Tomlin said this, worship isn't a feeling you wait for. It's a choice you make. Worship isn't just because of how you feel, it's because God is worthy of it. Worshiping Him is a choice that we make every day and in every moment. The story of Job is another one that talks about worshiping no matter what. Here is Job, who's lost his family, lost his crops, lost a lot of his wealth. He lost it all. He even lost family members. But this is what Job says in Job 1:21. He said, I came naked from my mother's womb, and I will be naked when I leave. The Lord gave me what I had, and the Lord has taken it away. Praise the name of the Lord. Here we see another example of someone, no matter what the circumstance, choosing to worship and to praise God. So what is your choice today? No matter if today is a good day or a bad day, will you choose to worship God? Thank you so much for joining us today. Come back tomorrow for the next Daily Word. God bless.